Welcome to another powerful reminder. Today's video is one you won't want to miss. We'll be talking about something very real, very serious, and something that could be sitting inside your home right now without you even realizing. Make sure you watch this video till the end, because what you hear today could change how you see the gifts around you forever. Let's begin. You probably threw it away without even thinking. That random envelope, that strange keychain, that gift from someone who suddenly disappeared. But what if that wasn't just junk? What if it was put there to break your life from the inside? In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah tells us that Sihr was used to separate husband from wife, and the people who cast it, they didn't need loud rituals or strange creatures. They needed one thing: access, and the easiest way to gain access is through something the victim accepts willingly. That's why Sihr is often hidden in the most unexpected things: thoughtful gifts, beautiful packaging, items you'd never suspect. Because once it's inside your home, it's already working. In this video, we'll uncover 5 so-called gifts that are commonly used in witchcraft, and how to recognize the warning signs before it's too late. But first, let me ask you something. If someone handed you a beautifully wrapped box today, would you open it without a second thought? What if the danger wasn't in the person, but in what they left behind? Some of the worst spiritual attacks didn't start with threats or spells, but with something that smelled good, something that looked harmless. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. The first gift. When a scent carries silence, Islam teaches us to think well of others, to accept gifts with gratitude, to love for our brother what we love for ourselves. But even in that, we are told to stay alert, because not every hand that gives is sincere. And sometimes, it's not the person, it's the item itself. Have you ever been gifted a perfume, an oil, or a scented item, and something in you hesitated to use it? You didn't say it out loud. You didn't want to be rude, but something felt off. Strong scents like oud, musk, or herbal oils are often used in Sihr because they carry spiritual traces. It's easy to hide something in them, and even easier to get someone to apply it willingly. Some people have shared stories that start with a simple gift, a small bottle of attar handed over with a smile. They used it once, maybe twice, and then the unease began, not in the scent, but in the sudden tension at home, the sleepless nights, the unexplained weight in the chest. Medical tests came back clear. But when they stopped using it and began reciting Surah Al-Baqarah consistently at home, the symptoms faded. Coincidence, maybe. But in matters of the unseen, we're taught not to ignore repeated signs. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us, recite Surah Al-Baqarah in your homes, for shaitan does not enter a house where it is recited. That's our shield. So no, we don't doubt every gift, but we do stay awake. We pray before we accept. We recite over everything, because sometimes protecting yourself means saying Bismillah before you ever uncork the bottle. The second gift. Threads, bracelets, and handmade amulets. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you wore something someone gave you without questioning what it really was? Not because you doubted them, but because it just felt too personal, too close. What if the thing wrapped around your wrist was also the reason for your unrest? They look harmless. A red string, a woven bracelet from a trip, a gift from a friend who said it brings peace. But here's what no one talks about. In many ruqya cases, the real problem wasn't inside the body. It was tied around the wrist. Thread bracelets, charm pieces, and handmade ornaments have been used by certain people to silently pass Sihr through knots, strands of hair, or written scripts no one questions. And the more spiritual it looks, the more trust it invites. You'd be surprised how many people wore something they didn't fully understand because someone said it had meaning. But if the meaning doesn't come from the Quran, what exactly are you wearing? Sometimes it's not the object that's dangerous, it's the belief we attach to it, that this string will protect me, that this bead will calm my soul, that this knot is powerful. But real power comes only from Allah, and anything that makes you think otherwise, even subtly, becomes a crack in your protection. You didn't mean to open the door, but once you did, what entered didn't need an invitation. The third gift: wall art, symbols, and aesthetic decor. Let's be real. How many of us actually know what's hanging on our walls right now? That gifted frame, that decorative piece with symbols you never questioned. Could it be more than just decor? Could it be a silent invitation sitting right above your bed that you never meant to send? It looks beautiful, elegant, harmless. But what if the art hanging in your living room is more than just decoration? A symbol here, a pattern there, something written in a language you can't even read. Here's the hard part. Shayateen don't care how pretty it looks. They care whether you gave them permission to enter. Some Ruqya experts have found curses written on framed artwork, strange talismans embedded behind glossy prints, or verses twisted into shapes that appear harmless until you study them. Ask yourself, would you hang something in your home if you knew it was designed to attract negative energy? You wouldn't. But that's exactly why these things are disguised. It's not the object, it's the opening. It's what your home unknowingly welcomes in when you prioritize vibes over verses. You wanted peace, but you hung up something that brought unrest. You wanted to fill your space with meaning, but the meaning wasn't from Allah. We scroll through online decor, buy something trendy, or accept a gifted frame, never realizing that in the world of Sihr, the wall becomes the doorway, and sometimes the harm isn't in the object itself, but in the silence you maintain around it. The fourth gift, the unchecked item. Everyone assumed was fine. Let me ask it differently. What if something in your house was slowly affecting your life, but it blended in so well you never thought to question it? Not because you're careless, but because you assumed it was safe. We all have that one thing in the house no one really talks about. A souvenir, a decoration, a gift left behind from some forgotten visit. It's not scary, it's not dramatic, it's just there. But here's where it gets serious, because in the world of Sihr, the most dangerous objects are the ones you never think to check. It's not always a black string or a creepy symbol. Sometimes it's a bowl, a mirror, a glass, figure that seems decorative, but carries something else with it. Ask yourself, when did the fight start? When did the barricade disappear? When did your child begin waking up with nightmares? Not everything has to be blamed on Sihr, but not everything should be blindly ignored either. Some Ruqya cases uncovered that the only thing that needed to be removed was that one quiet item in the corner. It was never about what it looked like, it was about what it carried. So look around your home again, not with fear, but with awareness, because what you thought was background noise might be the very reason the piece left. The fifth sign, it wasn't a gift. It was a secret you told the wrong person. Forget the package. What if the real danger wasn't delivered in a box, but in a conversation? A moment where you opened up thinking it was safe, but the person listening wasn't who you thought they were. Some of the most destructive attacks didn't begin with objects. They began with access, and sometimes that access came from a single sentence you should have never shared. You were venting. You were opening up. You thought they were safe. But not every listener is a well-wisher. Not every shoulder you cry on is clean. And sometimes the most dangerous form of Sihr doesn't come through objects. It comes through exposure, because in Islam, privacy isn't just a virtue, it's a shield. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us, seek help in doing your affairs in secrecy, for every blessed one is envied. And you might never know which sentence gave someone enough fuel to curse your peace. Not because they're a magician, but because envy alone is enough to spark harm. So yes, Sihr is real. But not everyone around you is evil. We don't live in fear. We live in tawakkul, complete reliance on Allah. And sometimes protection doesn't mean locking the doors. It means closing your mouth when your heart is wide open. Because the truth is, no gift, no object, and no person holds real power. So what actually protects us? You might still be wondering. So what now? Should we live in fear? Should we question every person and every gift? No, that's not what Islam teaches us. Protection starts and ends with Allah, not with suspicion, not with avoidance, but with remembrance, clarity, and intention. So before you scroll away, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly made Allah your first shield, not your last resort? Because blaming people without proof, that's not Islam. Doubting everyone around you, walking around paranoid, that's not protection. That's waswasa. What Islam teaches is prevention through Quran. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, recite Surah Al-Baqarah in your homes, for the shaitan does not enter a house in which Surah Al-Baqarah is recited. Read the last 2 verses of Surah Baqarah before sleeping. Make the morning and evening adhkar. Recite the last 3 surahs, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and An-Nas, 3 times every morning and evening. You don't need to fear what others hide. You need to remember who protects. So don't blame, don't obsess, and don't stop living. Live alert. Live prayerfully, and trust that what Allah protects, no hand can touch. Comment this dua. Ya Allah, protect my home, my family, and my heart from every harm hidden or seen. If this reminder touched you, share it. And if you're still here, maybe that's not by accident. Maybe this was the protection you needed today. Subscribe for more reminders like this, and may Allah guard you always.